I welcome us all to today's class. Today we shall be looking at nomadic education. What is nomadic education? Nomadic education is a program designed for any member of a group of people who have no fixed home and move according to the seasons from place to place in search of food, water, and grazing land. This person with no fixed residence that roams about, such as a wanderer. The National Commission for Nomadic Education, NCNE, was established in 1989 by defunct Decree 41, now Nomadic Education Act, to cater for the educational needs of the socially excluded, educational disadvantaged, and migrant groups in Nigeria, which are being termed nomad. Then, I may ask, what are the reasons for nomadic education? The reason for nomadic education is to raise both the productive and income levels of nomads, as well as boost the national economy through improved knowledge, skills, and practices of nomads. We have three types of nomads. We have the cattle Fulani nomads, we have the farming nomads, and then we have the last one, which is the fishing nomad. So let's take it one after the other. The cattle Fulani nomad. These are the people that wander from one place to the other in search of pastures for the cattle. I know many of us must have seen Fulani people in the town and some other places moving from one place to another with their cows. This group of people are usually found in the northern part of Nigeria, even though you can still find them in some part of the east, or let me just say in the southern part, because when I say east is not the only part in the southern part. We have the eastern region, the south, and then the southwest. So you can also find them in some part of the south as well. Then the next one, which is the farming nomads. These farming nomads are peasants. Many farmers in Nigeria are known to move from their homes in search of fertile land in any part of the country. And this happens mostly during rainy season, during the farming period, during the planting season. Such farmers remain there until their harvest is done. And then they move again from that particular site to another place. They don't have a particular home. So, for example, now let's assume they come down to Nsukka during this rainy season, because there's rain is falling in Nsukka. They will stay in Nsukka, plant their maize, plant their guinea corn, plant whatever they want to plant. They will just camp here until when harvest time comes, they will harvest it. Once they harvest it, they will move again to another part of the country where rain is falling. So they don't stay in one place to another. Rather, they move from one place to another, then only return back when it is season for planting again. Then the third one is the fishing nomads. These fishing nomads are those who are into fishing. They are into fish. Let me put it like that way. Nomads of this nature, they are found in the riverine areas, or let me say coastal areas. These people involve the fishermen, and these fishermen are like, if you check, we have different types of fishermen. We have those who live in a particular area, they only go fish and come back. But when those whom we are referring here as the fishing nomads are those fishermen who spend most of their lives in the sea searching for fish. So they move with their family from one coastal region to another. Maybe today they will be fishing, they will fish in Lokoja, and then from there they will, in their canoe, they will move again. Maybe there is no longer fish in Lokoja, they will now move from Lokoja through the river Niger to Onitsha. From Onitsha, if they don't see fish in that place, they will move from that place to Lagos. They will keep moving from one place to another. They don't have a particular place where they settle down. These are the fishing nomads. We understanding these three types of nomads now, we can now go ahead now to see why do these people need education. Due to how these people move from place to place, there was a need for them too to be educated. There is a need to bring this education to them. And as you know, it will never be possible for them to be able to acquire education like every other normal person who settle, those who are settlers like us who settle in a particular place for a long period of time. So there is a need to fashion out an educational system that can be able to accommodate them. An educational system that will follow them as they are moving in search of fishes for those who are fishing nomads, or in search of greener pasture to farm for those who are farming nomads, or in search of grazing field for those of them who are cattle Fulani nomads. So in order to develop education that will be accommodating to them or to their children, so that their children will not be illiterate, the federal government decided to bring up nomadic education. So now we are going to proceed to look at the objectives of nomadic education. And these objectives of nomadic education are divided into short-term objectives and long-term objectives. So now we are going to look at the short-term objective. Number one, ability to read with comprehension those things that affect their occupational roles. Ability for a nomad to be able to read and understand some of the things that affect their occupational roles, such as when they go to buy, when they are selling cow, ability for them to be able to read and write receipts that they will give to customers who are buying cow from them, or those who are buying fish from them, or those who are buying farm produce from them, or ability for them to even go and then be able to read and understand, okay, that they went to buy fertilizer for their farm. Ability for them to be able to read and understand the type of fertilizer they are buying, or the price and all those things. So the first one is ability to read with comprehension those things that affect their occupational roles. Then number two, ability to read and understand national papers and magazines. If they can be able to read papers and understand, read magazines, that's when I'm talking about papers, I'm referring to newspaper. If they're able to read papers and understand, read magazine and understand, there is no need of them. You will see it's going to control violence. If you find out that, let me tell you one thing, some of these people you see going about, okay, you hear that Fulani herdsmen enter here and kill people. They only work based on what people tell them. So some people are there manipulating them because they cannot read papers and they cannot understand English. Someone will just come and tell them something, they'll just carry a knife and enter a village and start killing people. So ability for them to be able to read and understand national papers and magazines will prevent them to only depending on rumors and hearsay. Number three, ability to write legibly and meaningful letters to friends, relations, veterinary, agriculture, livestock officers, and so on. So ability for them to be able to write letters, ability for them to be able to read. You know, now, if a Fulani herdsman can be able to read very well and be able to write very well, it will be able to enhance trade between them and the customers who buy from them, and it's going to make business to boom more easily and help in the economy. Another point again is ability to do simple calculations and records and keep records. Ability to do simple calculations and keep records relating to the number of their heads, cost of, and return from investment on improved heads. What am I saying? Ability to do simple calculations and keep records. That is another short objective, that when a herdsman can be able to do simple calculations and keep records, it helps him to be able to know the amount of cow that he has. Or let me just use the word heads, because it's not just cow. It helps him to be able to know the amount of fish that he has to take to the market. It helps the nomad to be able to know, okay, the amount of farm produce he's taking to the market. Why? Because he knows how to calculate and also how to keep record. Then another one is ability to develop scientific outlook, positive attitude, and self-reliance. when a nomad understand how to approach matters scientifically, when I mean scientifically, I'm talking about what? Systematic, having step by step way of dealing with situations. It will give him this self-reliance, and then he will have a positive attitude on how to even relate with people. Because one, he already known that when I do A, B will happen. What am I saying is that if he has scientific outlook, he'll be able to say, okay, now, if I attack these people, it's going to bring hostility and they are going to kill my animals and I'm going to lose money. So the person is going to see that when the herdsmen now are going to see that if they react violently, that something bad might happen to their business. Then the last but not the least in the objectives is ability to improve their relationship with immediate neighbors, which I just spoke when I was talking about the ability to develop scientific outlook. They should be able to understand the need to develop a relationship with immediate neighbors. That's those people they came to settle down in their land without fighting them and the rest of it. And to be able to improve their relationship with immediate neighbors, the farmers they met there, and government authorities and agencies. So this is what I have regarding the short-term objectives. Then let's look at the long-term objectives. For the long-term objectives, the number one there is acquisition of knowledge and skills to enable them improve their income earning capabilities. Then how will they be able to do this? When they acquire knowledge and know how to do mixed farming, and also learn how to buy lands, and also how to manage grazing. You see, it's going to save them a lot of stress and also help them to acquire more income. Number two, improvement of livestock products. Once they have this, they are knowledgeable. Once they are educated, they will be able to know how to improve their livestock product, such as milk, meat, butter, hide and skin, by applying modern technologies. Then another point there is better marketing of their products. Once they are educated, they will see the need for advertisement. They'll start looking for people who come and advertise how their cow are, their food stuff that they bring out, the fishes. They will have people, and you know, when they do all this type of advert, it tends to boost business. Then another one is appreciation of the aims and function of cooperatives. Now they will see the need to start working with cooperative society to take loan. They can collect loan to bring tractor that will farm a very large hectares of land. They can also be able to take loan to be able to help them get things that will help them boost their fishing business, or even those who are rearing cattle. They can take loan from cooperatives to be able to, cooperative banks, to be able to boost their heads business. Then another one again is production of skilled full-day professionals and administrators through education now. So through nomadic education, you'll be able to develop their children. The children of these nomads might end up becoming teachers, doctors, lawyers, and the rest of it. And when these people, and when their children become all these professionals, it tends to make it easy for the other children in the community of these nomads now to also see the need of education, and it's going to reduce poverty. Then the last but not the least there is acquisition of functional knowledge and skills for raising healthy, well-adjusted families and for operating happy household. So these are the objectives. These are the long-term objectives guiding this nomadic education. So the last one, we talk about acquisition of functional knowledge and skills for raising healthy and well-adjusted families. Through education now, they'll be able to see the need and understand how they can be able to raise a healthy family. And they will see that family matters and life matters. And not just all about just rearing a family, but they don't understand that the life of somebody matters. And when one understands the importance of life, it will be very hard for such a person to take another person's life. In your exams now, you might receive questions whereby they will be asked to state the long-term or state the short-term objective. So these are the short terms and the long-term objective. Just go straight to the point and make it as brief as possible.